this should come as no shock to you. Indiana their fan base outclassed Miami in the national championship in a game played at the home stadium of the Hurricanes. Scale of 1 to good, that's not at all for the U. So on top of that, there's a really good tweet from Immaculate View on Twitter. Chris Lowe sends a video of the fans. Says definitely not going to be a road game here for Miami. In Miami for Indiana, I should say. Looks about 65-35 right now in favor of the Hoosiers. Immaculate View says, this is not me taking a shot, but it's the offseason now. So we got to talk offseason stuff. Some folks think Miami to the Big Ten is a thing. I have given multiple reasons why I think that is not the case. One of those has been pictures of the crowd at Miami home games. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do what I hate to do and what I should not do. But Cam, I've seen pictures of UCF home games the last couple of years. I hate it. I've seen pictures of Houston home games, probably a better example, double-digit win team, and their fan base just look, they're behind the 8 ball because the Astros, the Rockets, the Texans, the Houston Symphony Orchestra, people want to go see those over a Houston football game. And I can't help you with that. It's just the way it is. Those fans haven't shown up the last couple of years. They got a worse bowl game because of that, but ended up getting to beat LSU. Miami, they are the Houston of the ACC. They can win as many games as they want and then play in the national championship in their own backyard, their home stadium, 45 minutes from campus, and be outnumbered 65-35 by Indiana coming from Bloomington to Miami. It's another example of how Miami is not ready for the big leagues. And I'm going to say it. The Big 12 is not the Big 10. The Big 12 is not the SEC. Miami is not ready for those two conferences. They don't want Miami. And when this whole thing falls apart in a couple of years, the U has a landing spot in the Big 12 and nowhere else.
It's a good point. It's a good point. And especially like the SEC, we talk about this so much, the regionality and trying to get, trying to get new hubs, so to speak. SEC doesn't need Florida. They've got Florida. Like they don't need it. Big Ten doesn't really need it, but all these conferences are greedy. I think it would make a ton of sense in the Big 12. Like think about
By
it
the
just
way,
this simplistically. Go ahead.
We have Florida, but do we really have Florida?
No.
Yeah.
I mean, we have it in terms of a recruiting base, which is really important. Like you do,
Yes.
or, Central Florida and Orlando, like it's great. Not quite as great as Miami in terms of developing football talent, baseball for sure. But you look at it simplistically, Miami sees the Big 12 as a conference they can win, even though they can't win the ACC, but like they should be good enough to win the ACC, right? And it's more stable than the ACC is. Like in its simplest terms, that's how Miami should be looking at it. And yeah, there's some fan bases, unfortunately, in this conference that don't show out for their fans or for their teams enough. Not that I would know.
I did forget to include Baylor in that category, which, to be fair,
Duke football, it's in the squad intro.
Remembering back to the Baylor-Arizona game in Tucson and the shirts off section, like that was not a packed game. And Arizona was a really good football team. They blew that game out. Half the Big 12 fan bases aren't going to sell out unless their team is a national championship contender. Now, the same goes for Fayetteville, Arkansas, for Starkville, Mississippi. We've seen it in the Matt Luke years at Oxford, Mississippi, Vanderbilt for sure. Like it's not just the Big 12. There are leagues and schools that do not show up. But if your brand is Miami and you're claiming, we're the U, we have Michael Irvin, who made his presence known, who, was very active off the field for Miami this week. You've got that. You have the prowess. Jeremy Shockey, Larry Coker. We can just name game here.
Yeah.
Yep.
Greg Olson.
Ray Lewis, innocent.
Third leg.
Innocent. Yep.
Dude, how about, did you see that video? I can't remember what player it was being consoled by Ed Reed after the game. So Ed Reed, obviously incredible player, really, really smart football player, like could be a head coach kind of smart. I've watched him like break down film. It's actually really cool. And he's consoling this Miami player after the game. And he's got one of those big hats on.
The noggin boss. The noggin boss.
I'm like, could you imagine like the worst loss of your life? Like, you know, your microphone breaking, losing the national championship game, those kinds of losses. And this dude is the one putting his arm around your shoulder. He's kind of far away because you're wearing a helmet and he's wearing something twice, 3 times the size of a helmet. That's unbelievable. That's the you, baby.
That's just Luke Kuechly in a tiara telling you keep your head up. That's the equivalent. That's what it feels like. Like, what? Yay. Get him next time, boss. Like, Luke Kuechly, why are you wearing a tiara?
Like, OU loses and the boss just has like a dirt bike helmet on.
With the mohawk.
So good,
with
man.
The mohawk taped to it.
Yes. Yeah. Some dreads hanging out the back.
That's what Miami has kind of become, is even when they are very good, they're a bit of a joke. Like there were Michael Irvin to Ed Reed to Ray Lewis. It felt to being outclassed by another fan base in your home stadium. That's a bit of a joke, man. Like that's you can't take that seriously. Tony Petitti, the Big Ten, they don't look at that and say, "Oh, we have to have Miami." Yeah. The Big 12 says, "Hey, you're a brand that kind of fits us." Like we have been, the Big 12 and Miami have been to the exact same number of national championship games in the last 4 years and have won the exact same number of national championship games the last 4 years. So to me, you put Miami in the category of Big 12 team moving forward, similar to Louisville. Louisville, Miami, very similar. Very similar.
Yeah, I'll give Miami some credit here. Like,
I don't know, Louisville shows up to the games.
I know, but Miami comes in and they bring a legitimacy, which I hate using. Sure. But they bring a legitimacy as a team that can make the college football playoff and a brand that is strong enough to make the college football playoff. Because again, like, credit to them for getting there. It was a heck of a run to make the title game. But based on the things that we grade the other teams on, they probably shouldn't have been in the playoff at all. Like, they shouldn't have been in the 12-team field. Credit to them for continuing to win and taking out, SEC teams on the way. Credit. But like that is something that the Big 12, I think, really, really craves right now. Were they a better team than BYU this year by the metrics that we base most of the other tems off of? No, they weren't.
Correct.
But
you're right.
They come in here and they have that kind of reputation, which Clemson carried in the ACC for the better part of the last decade, and Miami does too. Like, having them on your schedule, if nothing else, it's rising tide that's raising all boats in this conference. Louisville, while competitive and have a good fan support, have good facilities, decent NIL, getting better at basketball again, like that. Those are all good things, and I think would be good things for the conference. But Miami in football brings a helmet sticker that raises the profile, whether they're good or not.
Yep. Who did SMU lose to in the playoffs last year?
That would be Pennsylvania State.
They did. That's right.
Who did they lose to in week 2 this year?
Oh, that good old Baylor. Still almost made the playoffs somehow. Still almost won the ACC.
Baylor was a couple of bounces away from a transitive property national championship if the Canes pull that off.
Yep.
What are you going to do?
Yep. Couple bounces away. It's Cameron Stewart, Locked On Baylor, at Real Cam Stewart. This has been, it always will be, Locked On. Thanks for making
Someone send me a new microphone.
Your first listen every single day. Dose Grande.